Sally Corner Stories, Episode 7, The Good Old Names of Yesteryear. Now you know how we like a little discussion. When we was talking about the nicknames, a good point was raised. Nowadays, they got a lot of make-up names that even the priests can't even spell. And all they're doing is humbugging the poor little children. Sometimes the parents taking two names and making one. You could get a mother named Sophia and a father named Frank. Next thing you know, the little girl child ended with something sounding like So Frankia. You could imagine that? So Frankia? Look, the whole world gone mad. I remember when we were small and we run out of books to read. The phone book used to be reframed. You know how many jokey names in there? We used to crack up at some of them names. Some of the strangest things you could ever find. Just the other day when we was talking about the nicknames of Welshman Hall, Albert started talking about some of the old-time names and made me wonder if some of them names would ever come back in. You know how fashion does be, it does go out and then it does come back in? I wonder if them names would ever be used again. If they will come back to society like the waves, you know? But I wonder what will ever happen to the good old names of yesteryear. You could imagine they had somebody named Clickford and Christophine. Don't laugh, I'm serious. Back in the day, baby names was strong and powerful. And when Nurse Bradford down at the Bright Star Clinic called out a name, you would not know if it was for a man, a woman, or even a little baby. The little soft names like Tamisha and Dwayne, you will hear names like Cleveland Harold Griffith or Esteline Ayanti Small. Now, all of those good strong names seem to be forgotten. Names like my great-grandmother, she had one boy, her mutual exhibitor Springer. But nobody ain't using good strong names no more. Names like Millicent and Chesterfield. You had names like Llewellyn and any bet. I feel that none of one ain't realize that the names that used to start with A, that name like they silent. Think about it. You had a Delbert, a Dolphus, a Telbert, a Telston. You know what I mean? Them names would be called as Delbert, Dolphus, Telbert, and Telston. But then they had good old names too, like Beresford, who used to soften and call he Berry. Ermintrude, and people would call she Ermine. They had a man from up here too named Jeremiah. He went all through school with people calling he Gamaya, because nobody didn't know how to pronounce the name, till he get big and start to work with the white people and find out what his real name was. And he even get the nickname of Jerry too. And then there would be names that they would make sound the worst way possible. You could imagine you had a nice name like Agatha, and people calling you Agatha, or a name like Dorothy, and they call you Dorfrey. Look, them nice forgotten names, don't they? Names like Isilma, Iseline, US, Ursuline, and Ursel. They had names like Gwendolyn, Alfonso, and Alonzo too. Esmeralda, Edla, Egla, Elise, Doreen, and Agnetha. Nice names like Doris, Ione, Una, Eunice, or wait, I should call it how they used to call it, not Eunice, Eunice, and Candace, No, let me stop there too. They used to call that Candace. Winifred would always be shortened to Winnie. And then you had names like Clifford, Lemuel. But nobody used to say Lemuel. They used to say Lemuel. You had Fitzgerald, Fitzherbert, Fitzwilliam, Wilfred, Wilbert, Bertram, Berkeley, Irma, Eustace, Cleota, and Carlotta. Strong names like Marjorie, Mignol, Otis, Garfield. You can see a good-looking little boy dressed in his Sunday best, waiting for the church program, and when they call out his name to say recitation, it is announced the Christmas Carol by Percival Seymour Braffett, or you could hear the Christmas Gift by Ermeline Daphne Mears, and a little girl get up in she nice pretty red dress. What is that one really doing nowadays? Try and give the children nice strong names. These strong names does help to build character. Used to have good names like Thelma and Velda, Verderine, Myrna, Lionel, Omita, Daphne, Ayanti, Edwina, and Edwardine. Names like Irene, Lurleen, Ophelia, Vernice, Rufus, Bertram, Whitfield, and Whitcliffe. Then there was Gervais, Olga, De Courcy, Cuthbert, Clement, Rupert, Conrad, Cyrilline. Good, strong names. Lauriston, Bernadette, Arlene, Josephine, Priscilla, Celesta, Edlin, Elsie, and Audrey. Names like Dayton, Vivian, Lorraine, Gerald, Ernesta, Eudora, Edmund or Armand, Esme. You could get good names, you know. Floyd and Lloyd. And then you had Eileen, Matilda, Erskine, Evadne, Evangeline, Liebert, Katrura, Audric, Euclid, Myrtle, Aileen, Edith, Goulburn, Caroline, Ethel, Ondine, Loretta, Ruben, Arnold, and Carmita. There was Granville, Hector, and Siebert too. All of these good names, good strong names that may well remain unused and forgotten as the years go by. The young people don't know them but good names. They want to use a lot of fashion names like Javon, Latoya, Jaden, and Kaimani. Not one good strong name like Beryl, Livingston, or Hartley. Tell me what wrong with the old strong names of yesteryear. Good character building names. But because of the newfangled names, the good old names of yesteryear may well belong in the corridors of history. A record of times and days gone by. But look at how times does change, don't it? Hey.